Let me tell you about something strange. Something that still sends shivers down my spine, just thinking about it. There's a legend, you see, about an old church bell. This isn't just any bell. It's known as the midnight bell. And if you hear it toll, it means you're marked. This bell, they say, only rings once in 100 years, on the darkest night. Nobody knows who rings it, and the church it belongs to doesn't even exist anymore. The villagers swear the church burned down over a century ago, with no one left alive inside. But the strangest part, every 100 years at midnight people still hear it, a slow, echoing chime that slices through the night air. Bong, bong, each toll is heavy, like it's counting something or someone. They say if you hear the bell, you have to answer. You have to go to where the church once stood, or you'll be haunted by its call forever. About 100 years ago, people heard the tolling, and out of curiosity or fear, they stayed hidden in their homes. All except one, a girl named Anya. She was young, brave, and maybe a little reckless. She thought it was just a story, a silly superstition. So she set out to find the source of the sound, thinking she'd solved the mystery once and for all. As she walked through the woods, the tolling grew louder, each strike making her feel lighter. She reached the clearing where the old church used to stand, only now she found it completely intact, like it had risen from the ground itself. The air was thick, and the shadows seemed to cling to her as she walked through the open doors. Inside, everything was coated in thick layers of dust, as if no one had entered for centuries. The pews were empty, but as she looked closer, she noticed they weren't completely empty. Shadowy shapes were sitting there, motionless, heads turned toward the altar. And at the front, she saw herself. Yes, her own reflection, standing at the altar, pale and frozen, staring back with eyes that weren't hers. Her reflection lifted a hand, gesturing her closer. And that's when she felt it, an icy grip tightening around her heart, her body growing heavier with each step forward. The tolling stopped, and so did she, but by then it was too late. The shadows started turning, watching her, their hollow eyes filling with an unnatural hunger. They began to stand, one by one, shuffling toward her with stretched out hands, as if they needed her to complete the ritual, to take her place among them. When the villagers came looking for her the next morning, they found nothing but silence. No sound, no footprints, only the faintest smell of smoke, as if the church had just burned down all over again. And now, 100 years have passed since that night, and tonight is that night. So if you hear the midnight bell toll and you feel its call, resist it, because once you go, you're never coming back.